many different outlets to express themselves. Many people turn to clothing or makeup to express themselves, but hair is another form of self-expression. However, not everyone can afford the time or money to go to a professional salon. There are many ways to use hair to express yourself, but today I'm going to talk about how to bleach your hair white. In this speech, I'm going to talk about 3 things to know in order to bleach your hair. First thing about bleach, you need to know about bleach and other hair products. So you need to know the difference between semi-permanent, permanent hair, and bleach. So permanent hair, it uses peroxide to open up the hair shaft and deposit color in your hair. So it's a permanent chemical process. And semi-permanent hair, it just sits on top of the hair in order to give the illusion of dyed hair. And then bleach lightens your hair from its original color to a lighter color. The science of bleach is how hydrogen peroxide is used in alkaline solution, which opens the hair shaft to allow the peroxide to go inside to react with the melanin in your hair. And melanin is black dye, so there's different people have different levels of melanin. So someone with really black hair has a high content of melanin, and someone with naturally blonde hair has low melanin. And so the bleach oxidizes the melanin molecule until it's colorless. And the things you need to do this is powdered bleach and developer. And the conception, well, it's true, but bleach damages your hair. Since the hair shaft opens up, there's less moisture to get into the hair, so it becomes drier and tends to get more damaged. And also, you need to learn about hair levels. There's a 1 to 10 scale of the hair. So a level 10 hair is white hair, and level 1 hair is really almost black hair. And bleach goes through stages, so it goes from really dark hair to red to orange to yellow and hopefully to white, but that process might take a while. Since bleach is a very complicated and dangerous chemical, it's very important to know how the state of your hair affects this process. This goes on to the second thing you must know before you bleach your hair, which is to know what your hair is and to evaluate your hair. So first you need to know your hair color. Like, what's its natural hair state? Is it a level 10? If it's a level 10, that means it's really dark, it's almost black, and that's the hardest hair to lighten because it has a lot of melanin. And so it might take a couple times to bleach your hair in order for it to be white. If it's a level 7, a level 5, it's still a little bit more difficult, but it won't be as difficult as a level 10 hair. A level 1 hair, level 1. And then a natural blonde, you don't really need that much bleach, and it doesn't take that many processes or that long to have your hair from naturally blonde to white. And also you need to know the thickness of your hair. You how so you would have to ask yourself, would you say your hair is thick, thin, or medium? Because that determines how much bleach you need. Someone with very thick hair needs a lot of bleach in order to have it fully be even and nice and white. But if you have thin hair, you might not need it as much and you might not need it for as long because it will damage your hair since your hair is thin. And you also need to know the integrity of your hair. So how healthy is your hair? Because in order to bleach your hair, it needs to be very healthy. So you need to ask yourself, have you bleached or dyed your hair? Because if you've bleached it before, you might not need to bleach it as much in order to have it be white. If you dyed your hair before, it depends on what dye you've used. So if you use permanent color, that means your hair has been permanently altered, so it will be very difficult to get your hair. So say you use black box dye to bleach your hair, that's very hard to get out your hair because it has metallics in it, and also you don't know what type of developer they use, so it's very difficult to get out your hair, and you might end up having your hair go to orange and not go any lighter. And also you need to ask, do you use heat products? Because heat products are very damaging to your hair, and you need to restrict yourself from that in order to have healthy hair, in order to bleach it. So now that you know how bleach works and the state of your hair, we can now teach you how to execute the application correctly. So things you might need to bleach your hair is obviously bleach, but bleach isn't just like one thing. You need bleach powder. It doesn't really matter what type you get. Just get salon quality or get it from Sally Beauty. And then as well you need um developer. There's different volumes of developer. This one is 30 developer, but it goes up to 40 and down to 10. 40 is the strongest developer that you could get, and it will lift your hair the fastest. However, if you have very thin hair, it won't be safe to use that hair. And so, as a guide, just use 30 volume. And another thing you might need is like a brush, this type of brush as well. And the brush with the comb and the brush that you could apply on, and maybe some foils in order to put it on. And so now you need to know the application. So you need to know what ratio to mix your hair. So a guy is 1 to 2 ratio, or 2 to 2 ratio. So 1 cup bleach powder and then 1 cup developer, and then mix it well until there's no clumps. Now you need to section your hair, but just section it down the middle, and then section these parts, and then tie them off. And then you need to when you section it, you leave a part, and then you section it, and you apply to the mids of your hair and then to the ends, and leave out the root. And you have to do it very thinly, and you have to put a very thick amount of bleach on your hair in order for it to be even. So how long do you have to leave on the bleach for? Check every 15 minutes until you get the color you want, but don't exceed 60 minutes because your hair might fall off. So how many times you might need to bleach? Most people with very dark hair might need 3 to 4 processes of bleaching your hair. But if you have very blonde hair, you probably only need one for like maybe 30-45 seconds. So these guidelines should be able to get you started on your hair journey, and to do so in a safe way. Nonetheless, everyone is different, so the results may vary, and you must be careful. Remember that bleach is a chemical, and you should be extremely careful with this process because you don't want to end up with chemical burns. But now you are able to express yourself in a new and fun way with your hair. So thank you.